What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Career Mode. This is episode number 116, and we start today's episode off by offering Insigne a new contract here at Napoli. Of course, he still has 2 years left on his contract, but as you guys have seen, he does want a new deal, and he is considering leaving the club. So with that in mind, we offer him a new contract. He turned down the one we just offered, so we give him a pay increase of 25 grand, and also a goal bonus of 10%, I think it was. So we offer him a new contract, and hopefully he will stay. But we took on Palermo for the first game of today's episode, and as I said in the last episode, we are simulating games because the title is basically won already. So with that in mind, we're just trying to get through these league games as quick as possible and play the important games. We took on Palermo and beat them by 2-0. They were sitting bottom of the table and we were top, so really it was going to be an easy game for us. And unfortunately, we did see that Bariti tore some muscle there, and he's going to be out for 6 weeks. So that's a bit of a shame. He's going to miss most of the run-in for the season, which means he will miss the Champions League semi-finals. That does suck, but unfortunately not much we can do about that right now. Of course, Jamali's injured as well, so right now we've only got 2 decent sort of CMs that can play in the holding midfield slot, and that is, of course, Hamšík and El Kaduri. But even so, we took on Juventus in the following game in the Serie A, and as I said, I'm not really going to be playing too many games in the league now. We've only got 8 games to go, but I don't mind playing these games against the bigger teams. We take on Juventus at the Juventus Stadium, looking for revenge, really, looking for a bit of revenge, of course, because they beat us in the Italian Cup, the Coppa Nazionale, the Coppa Italia. So we kind of want to get revenge. If they're going to go and win that tournament, we want to show them up in their home stadium, and we came to this game looking for the win, and they almost got to a great start. Juventus, Tevez' shot just went wide of Bardi's post. In the 28th minute, though, a good chance for us goes down left hand side as Hazard beats Chiellini, beats him with the tackle. Then Berber spins round, and real good chance as Hazard gets into the box and shoots. And Rui Patricio, I don't know how many times I need to say this, but the guy just isn't really that good, is he? It's really, really poor from Patricio. I really like him on Ultimate Team. I had him on Ultimate Team last year and it was amazing, but in this career mode, every time we seem to play Juventus, he underperforms. And to be honest, yes, the shot by Hazard is very powerful, but it's pretty much straight at him, and he just seems to dive away from the ball. And in reality, yes, there's a player in front of Hazard who sort of ducks out of the way, so he's going to be a little bit unsighted, of course, but even so, you watch that on the replay and you really can't understand how he hasn't got a single fingertip on it, and he doesn't, and that gives us the lead in this game away at the Juventus Stadium. So Juventus 0, Napoli 1, and you have to say once again the fingers need to be pointed at Rui Patricio. But in the 40th minute, a great chance for Juventus to hit back. It's Vidal who gets onto the ball and gets past Hamšík, goes into the box and puts it into the bottom corner. So a great strike by Vidal. He's of course our captain at Chile and will be captain our side and leading us into the World Cup in 2018 at the end of this year. So good finish by Vidal, so I guess I'm not too disappointed to see him score against us there. But in the 41st minute, straight from kickoff, Fabio gets past his man and finds Balotelli. He finds the goal scorer Hazard, he gets round his man, plays the ball inside to Balotelli, who shoots on the half volley. Really good save by Patricio, and Lucas's cross in, goes towards the far post. Balotelli heads it in, but unfortunately Juventus do manage to clear the ball away, so still 1-1. Not much happened after that until the 63rd minute when Juventus had a free kick. Pogba gets on the ball and finds Vidal, the goal scorer for them. He's tackled, but it finds Furman. It's a great ball into Icardi, but it's a wonderful stop by Bardi, and it is still 1-1. So a good save by the goalkeeper there, and we are still level as things stand. A few minutes after that, though, another good chance for Juventus comes by the way of Icardi picking the ball up here and playing the ball through the middle towards the run of Pepe. It's a great ball, but his shot is well saved by Bardi. He just about got his feet to the ball there and prevented him from having a clear shot at goal. So still 1-1. And in the 81st minute here, a great chance for Juventus once again. It's Furman who gets onto the ball, gets past Achillio, goes down the left-hand side, rolls it through to Vidal. Vidal looking for his second goal of the game, just couldn't put the ball on target, and it was still 1-1. So Vidal almost making it 2-1 to the host there, but thankfully for us, he couldn't score his second goal of the game. And in the 86th minute here, another great chance for Juventus as they look to become the first side to beat us in the league this year. Berardi gets onto the ball here, shoots, but he just puts the ball wide. So there were so many chances for Juventus to get themselves a winning goal in this game, but they couldn't, and it did finish 1-1. So I'm actually quite happy with that point, to be honest, because the one thing I'd also like to do along with winning the league is have it unbeaten. I'd love to win the league and go for an unbeaten season, although we can't have a full unbeaten season because of course we've been knocked out of the Italian Cup by Juventus. They beat us. We can still have an undefeated season in the league, and I'd really like to do that, and thankfully we did manage to escape that game with a point, as things were looking very, very unlikely in the last 20 minutes or so. Juventus were playing so well, and I'm surprised they didn't hit the winner, but thankfully they didn't, and we do get a point. So We're closing out the season and we're so close to doing it unbeaten. Touch wood, we'll be able to do that. After that, we saw that Insigne says that he's going to go ahead and sign the contract, which is great. So Insigne is going to stay at the club after all, which is fantastic. So I don't want to see him leave, really. Even if this is our last season, I'd still like to see him stay. And the following game was against Catania here, which we played at home, and it was 2-1 to us as things stood. But unfortunately, Jamali did get an injury in this game, and I actually spoiled it during the start of this episode. I forgot that it actually happened after the injury to Bariti. Jamali got an injury and he's out for 3 months. So I know I said at the start, you guys must be sitting there thinking, what, Jamali's not injured, is he? But yeah, Jamali got injured there. Sorry, I spoiled it there for you. Jamali got injured and he's going to be out for the rest of the season. So we're now missing Jamali and Bariti. So 2 players that I usually have playing holding midfield are both out now. So El Kaduri and Hamsik, I need to make sure they don't get injured, because those are the only 2 proper good CDMs we have at the moment. But anyway, we took on Bayern Munich here for the game in the Champions League semi-final here at the Allianz Arena. And this episode is quite a long episode, of course, because I do have both semi-final legs. So if you could leave a like, that's much appreciated. It is a longer episode than usual, so a like would really help my channel out. But we did indeed take on Bayern Munich here at the Allianz Arena for the first leg of the Champions League semi-finals here. And I did say that, to be honest, if there's any team that's going to beat us, it probably would be Bayern Munich, because they're, of course, regarded as one of the best, if not the best sides in the world at the moment. And our Champions League run hasn't actually been that strong, to be honest. But even so, we took on Bayern Munich here, and the first chance would come in the 10th minute. Florenzi's free kick was whipped into the box, and Ranocchia got his head to the ball and made it 1-0. So from the first chance in this first leg of the semi-finals, we get the goal. It's Ranocchia who gets it. We already get that all-important away goal here, and it's an absolutely fantastic start. Tim Krul couldn't believe it, and it is 1-0 to us. But in the 25th minute, a great chance for Bayern Munich to hit back here. It's down the right-hand side by the way of Rafael, the former United right-back, who crosses the ball in towards Cavani, but his header is well saved by Bardi. So desperate not to see Cavani score against us. Of course, he used to play for Napoli before leaving to PSG, so great stop by Bardi, and it's still 1-0 to us. In the 49th minute though, Rafael finds Cavani once again. Those two linking up really nicely in this game. But once again, Cavani's header was well saved by Bardi. So 2 very good stops by our keeper. And from that we go on the break. It's a really quick counter-attack. Florenzi gets onto the ball, swings the cross in towards Mario Balotelli. He goes for some kind of like standing scorpion kick there. Amazing animation. Unfortunately, it was well saved by Tim Krul. And the follow-up effort by Carrasco was saved as well. So that would have been an absolutely lovely goal by Balotelli. It was like a standing scorpion kick, chip. It would have been incredible, really. But still 1-0. In the 62nd minute, another good chance for us. A chip ball over the top goes towards Balotelli, and Dante gets in a right mix-up there. He completely messes up his coordination, gives the ball away, and Balotelli runs clear and puts the ball into the bottom corner. So a big error by the Brazilian. It comes to Balotelli, as you see, and it's a great finish by him. So Balotelli makes it 2-0, and we go 2-0 up in this game. So really, we were cruising towards that Champions League final place. Munich were looking all over the place. But in the 65th minute, another good chance for us. It's Carrasco down the right hand side. He takes on Badstuber, beats him really well, but he drags his shot wide of the post. So really poor effort by Carrasco, and it is still 2-0. But we weren't really threatened, to be honest, other than those Cavani's headers. We were playing very well. And in the 68th minute, we went in search of a third goal here, as Bardi starts the attack before rolling the ball out wide to Carrasco. Carrasco finds DeCilio here, and it's a lovely through ball towards Insigne. Insigne then plays a great ball himself towards Mario Balotelli. Dante just couldn't keep with Balotelli in this game. He was playing so badly, and Balotelli just rifles the ball in. And that is exactly why we brought Balotelli. His finishing is just lethal as hell. He always seems to hit the target, and that was just an unbelievable finish. I love the way he hit that with the outside of his boot, and it just seemed to swerve inside the far post there. But Dante, man, seriously, that guy was just having an absolute nightmare. He just could not keep up with Balotelli. He really couldn't, and the finish by Balotelli was so nice. It really was. Right into the far corner, no chance for Tim Krul, and the swerve was really nice as well. So good finish by Balotelli, and it is 3-0 to Napoli, and Bayern Munich were just all over the place in this game. In the 82nd minute though, a good chance for them to get themselves a goal back and a bit of dignity, if nothing else. A good chance down the left hand side fell to the Serbian here. He goes down the left hand side and finds Javi Martinez. Nice little 1-2. The cross was put into the box, and Müller made it 3-1. So Bayern Munich do get themselves a goal back, and possibly a route back into the tie. You know, never say never. There is still a chance that they could get themselves back into it, but it was still going to be very unlikely they could do so. That was the final goal of the game. So a 3-1 victory away at the Allianz Arena. 2 for Balotelli and 1 for our centre-back Ranocchia. does give us a huge advantage going into the second leg, because Bayern Munich will of course need to score 3 goals away in Italy, and that is looking very unlikely. So glad to get the win, and yeah, very glad to get it emphatically as well. After that, we saw that Raimondi, one of the free agents we picked up, is not happy that he's not getting much game time, and De Chilio says thanks for picking us in that last game against Bayern Munich. We then took on Lazio here in the Serie A, and as I said about 1,000 times now, these games really I just could not care less about, because to be honest, I don't think we'd be losing them anyway, and we've basically already got our Serie A title retained. So yeah, we took on Lazio. They got a player sent off in the first minute. That was ridiculous. And we also saw the Biraghi and Balotelli got our goals as Lukaku missed a penalty. So yeah, we're cruising to our Serie A title now, and this season is now going to be all about the Champions League. We did indeed take on Bayern Munich, of course, in the Champions League semi-final second leg for our next game. So we are on our way to the Champions League final, and we are doing it in emphatic style so far. And as I just mentioned a minute ago, our run to the Champions League final, if we are to get there, has been quite easy. And I don't mean to say that quite bashfully, but it has been quite easy in the sense that the sides we faced in the group stage were, you know, relatively poor. We blitzed past that group. We had PSV, Athletic Bilbao and Copenhagen. We won those three, we beat those 3 teams to qualify in first place quite easily. We then beat Manchester United in the previous round, which was quite an easy tie, and before that we took on Spartak Moscow, and that was quite an easy tie as well. Now we take on Bayern Munich, the first real sort of strong side, you know, really strong side I should say, like world-class side we've had to face here, and we've just been destroying them in the first leg. So we came to this game, you know, knowing how well we've been playing, surely about to collect another win under our belts here, and we almost got to another good start here in the 22nd minute. Florenzi ran clear, but the shot was well saved by Tim Krul, and from the corner it was crossed in towards Ogbonna, and the header was well saved by the goalkeeper. So still 0-0, but again, Bayern Munich not really threatening us. But from this kick out by Tim Krul, Cavani goes for a header with Ogbonna. He goes for the header, and unfortunately Ogbonna stays down. So Cavani, who, you know, knows that he's probably going to be on the losing side in this tie, he doesn't want to see his former club or one of his former clubs get to the Champions League final without hurting them, quite literally. Ogbonna gets taken down by Cavani, and unfortunately Ogbonna has to get taken off the pitch on a stretcher, and he has got a sprained knee. So Cavani injures Ogbonna to make sure he's going to be out for a couple of weeks. He should still be back for the Champions League final, but even so, never nice to see a player get injured. And from that, we give the ball back to Tim Krul, and I was just like, okay, fine. It's a bit annoying to see Ogbonna get an injury, but there you go. That's one of those things. You can't help it, and Ogbonna goes down, he's injured. Let's just get on with the game and try and make sure that we can still win this game with minimal fuss and not have any other players get injured. But once again, Tim Krul decides to kick the ball up the pitch eventually with his left boot, kicks it towards the head of Cavani, and guess what happens again? Cavani goes up for a header with one of our players, takes down Hamsik, and then Marek Hamsik stays down. It's just absolutely ridiculous. In 2 minutes, we had 2 players get injured and need to be substituted. So Cavani, clearly so infuriated that he left Napoli to join PSG, clearly because he wants to get to a Champions League final. He could not believe it, so he decides to go ahead and injure 2 of our players. Hamsik, our captain, and Ogbonna, our highest rated centre-back, both get injured by the same player, and it's one of the former Napoli players, Edison Cavani. So absolutely outrageous. There must have been a bit of a conspiracy going on there. It's absolutely outrageous to see Cavani injure 2 of our players from 2 in 2 minutes, and it's still 0-0. Thankfully though, Cavani couldn't get himself a goal in the 34th minute as he was played through. He could only put the ball wide. That would have been insult to injury quite literally there, but thankfully it was still 0-0. In the 38th minute though, Napoli did come through, the shot was blocked, and it did fall to Cavani, so he did get himself a goal. So this game really was about Cavani basically just trying to hurt Napoli on all fronts here, not only injure some of our players, but also knock us out of the Champions League. So Cavani gets the goal to make it Napoli 0, Bayern Munich 1. They still needed to score another 2 goals though, of course, because of our away goal record, so it was still looking quite unlikely. But in the 50th minute, a great free ball by Florenzi found Insigne. His cross was into the centre towards Balotelli. The header went up in the air. Hazard tried to win it, and his header was well saved by Tim Krul. Balotelli then volleyed it, and the shot was well saved by Krul, tipped onto the post, and unfortunately still 1-0. So we almost get ourselves back on level terms in this game, but unfortunately we couldn't, and it was still 1-0. But Bayern Munich give the ball away. Carrasco chips the ball over the top towards Eden Hazard. Real good chance here, but Hazard's shot is well saved, but it falls to Balotelli. He gets the goal and makes it Napoli 1, Bayern Munich 1. So we didn't want to lose this game. We wanted to get the win and sort of just dominate every single team in the Champions League this year. That was a good finish by Balotelli, and that made it 1-1. In the 60th minute, though, another good chance for Bayern Munich. They still needed to score 3 goals. It was Müller who scored in the first leg. He went down the right-hand side, played a great free ball into Toni Kroos, and what a finish that was. I mean, mean, Balotelli's finish in the first leg was great. That was just as good. Such good swerve on that by Cruz, and he made it Napoli 1, Bayern Munich 2. So they get themselves back in front in this game. They still needed another 2 goals because of our away goal record. So 2-1, but it didn't really mean too much as things stood. But in the 65th minute, Toni Kroos went down the right-hand side. He ends up swinging in across towards Edinson Cavani. The header was well saved by Bardi, and it was still 2-1. So as things stood, we were still going through to the Champions League final. Bayern Munich didn't seem capable of scoring their 3rd and 4th goal in the game. And in the 70th minute, we had a good chance to seal the game. Carrasco ran clear, but he could only put his shot wide of the post. So still 2-1 as things stood. In the 73rd minute, it was the last chance for Munich to get themselves back in the game and back in the tie. Alaba goes down the left-hand side, finds Cavani. His shot is well saved by Bardi, though, and we managed to clear the ball away. So the game does finish 2-1, and we are indeed through to the Champions League final there with a comprehensive win on aggregate by 4 goals to 3. So we are through to the Champions League final. That's fantastic news for us, and we will be taking on Borussia Dortmund. So as always, guys, big thank you for watching the video. I really have enjoyed it. If you have enjoyed the video, please leave a like, and I'll see you for the next episode of Career Mode very soon.